Good morning. It's 11:42 on Saturday, February 28th. It's the end of the month. We're about to go into February. I'm going to do a quick recap of what went on this month and then talk about my March plans. So I'm going to start things off with weight loss, because that's still my primary goal. Unfortunately, this month, weight loss did not go so good. I definitely let myself eat around maintenance calories a lot of the time, and there were definitely several days where I went significantly over maintenance. My last weigh-in was 213.1 pounds. Not a total backtrack, but regained, I think, 2 pounds. I think I was 211 in the last video. I'm gonna need to make some changes to improve that, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the last chunk of the video. I did not stick with the habits that typically help me lose weight. I did track my calories 100%, but I didn't stick to my goal for calories, which is around 2,200 calories. I definitely did not ride the bike much, if at all. I'm not sure, I might have gotten one or two Zwift rides, but I did not fully get back into training. The one thing I did make pretty good progress on was lifting. I continued the same system that I was using in the previous month. I lifted 3 times a week, alternating A and B workouts. I did that through last weekend when I kind of just wasn't feeling really good a couple days. I delayed a couple of my lifts, and then this week I didn't lift at all. I was planning on getting back into cycling more regularly this week, but that didn't really happen either. So this was kind of just like a break week. But in general, I did quite a bit of lifting, and I think I'm getting better at some lifts. I don't think I'm really getting better at the squat, but definitely the deadlift, I feel like I'm getting better. The overhead press, I don't know if I'm getting better, but I did a little bit more research into how to improve my form on that. But overall, the lifting's going good. I like that it's not a huge time commitment compared to cycling. I'm still not gonna say I've learned how to lift until I get like actual instruction, so that'll probably be more like a summer to fall thing. The other side of strength training is I've been doing my push-ups. I did another 420 push-ups this month, so that means I'm on track to hit my goal of 5,000 on the year. We've also had a couple of warm days this month where it's been over 50 degrees, and I've gotten out on the motorcycle those days pretty much every time just to get back into the habit, make sure I still have the muscle memory for shifting gears and everything. Did a little bit of research on luggage and how to pack for a trip. I still don't know about a tank bag. I need to figure that out yet, but I have a tail bag on the way. I've done a little bit more research into racks and stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna go full-fledged on that since I'm really only planning to do a short trip right now. But if I wanna do any longer trips, I kinda have an idea of what options are out there. Finally, another thing I've spent kind of a lot of time on is shopping for a manual car. I still actually haven't decided whether I'm gonna be replacing my car or getting a second car. It's looking like I really only have 1 or 2 options if I'm going to be replacing my car for something that's relatively modern, 6-speed manual, and has enough space or the ability to have a roof rack for bringing bikes to and from races. If I want to go with a second car, there's quite a few options. Most of them would be on the older side, I think. I'm not sure it makes sense to have 2 cars. I haven't quite decided on that, but I have a bunch of saved searches and alerts set up for when cars pop up. I've also talked to a cousin of mine who's a car dealer, so he's keeping an eye out for things that fall within what I'm looking for. So I'm thinking that one should be sorted by the summer, at least, hopefully. Okay, now it's time to get into the concrete achievements. So the one really concrete achievement I did this month was I brewed my first batch of beer. It is a porter. I've already tasted a few. It's really good. Not fully carbonated yet, so I think the remaining ones I'm gonna let sit in there for at least another week. I forgot how easy it is to brew a 1-gallon batch of beer. The process is the same, it's just so much less of a burden than doing a full 5-gallon batch. So I'm already looking forward to doing the next batch. That one will probably be a stout, and then the third one I'll probably do more in the summer. That's a Hefeweizen. I have a video in the works that should come out in March. Going over that process. I haven't done that kind of video yet. It's gonna be kind of a learning experience for how to edit that together. I have 2 more 1-gallon batches to brew, and then I will be done with that goal. Another goal I've made concrete progress on is recording songs. I guess I haven't technically made concrete progress on the recording part, I wrote 80 to 90% of a song and started on another song. So I'm kind of getting back into the habit of doing that, remembering how songwriting works. I'm hoping to start getting those recorded, at least in a really rough format. So far I've just got clips on my phone so I don't forget the riffs and the lyrics and stuff. Aside from that, I haven't done actual real recordings, so that'll probably be something for next month. And the last concrete progress I made is reading this book, Character Limit. I'm actually technically not done reading. I have a few more chapters to get through, but should be wrapped up with that by the end of the weekend. Short review is, this could have been probably half the length. This is way too detailed, in my opinion, for something that doesn't feel that important. This book is about Elon Musk's purchase of Twitter, the events leading up to it, and then a little bit about how the company was run after he acquired it. It's not that I don't think it's an interesting topic, but I feel like I already kind of know what happened. So a lot of it is refreshing things that I already knew about. It feels like the authors are people who are very obsessed with Twitter, and they felt like they needed to cover this thing in extreme detail. Maybe go for the Cliff Notes version of this book if you're not super interested in Twitter. Okay, so on to the plan for next month. This is what I'll be reading next month. This is a book called The Master and Margarita. The Master and Margarita. This will be the first fiction book that I'm reading this year. It's a Soviet-era satirical fiction novel, I guess. I don't actually know that much about the book, other than I know it's supposed to be like one of the best books of all time. So I'm looking forward to reading it. Sounds interesting. It's not quite as long as the last couple books, so I'm hoping I can get through this one a little quicker. The Master and Margarita, that'll be the book for March. The main thing I want to focus on for March is getting back into the swing of weight loss. So I did a pretty good job in January, and I let things slip in February. So I want to get back on the wagon in that sense. In order to make this happen, for this year, I'll be instituting a new policy, which is if I go a full month without losing any weight or regaining weight like I did last month, I need to come up with some concrete change or strategy that I'm going to try for the next month to hopefully do better. This month, the one concrete change I want to make, I'll be trying to log my calories preemptively, basically the day before, or at least the morning of. I want to have everything logged in my calorie tracking app that I plan to eat for the day, so that I have a roadmap of this is what I'm going to eat, and I basically am going to be separating the decision point from when I'm actually hungry and when I'm preparing food. I've noticed that a lot of times when I order takeout or I eat something that I have at home that's maybe higher calorie than I should be eating, it's because I haven't planned my meal ahead of time, and I would need to cook something, or there's some barrier to eating what I probably should be eating versus what's easy to eat. The idea is if I log my calories the previous day or even the morning of, I'll know what meals are coming up so I can plan for those. And if I need to do any preparation, go grocery shopping, cook some food, anything like that, I'll have that in my mind that I need to do those things, as opposed to 5 minutes before I hopefully am eating lunch, I find out, oh, I'm out of this or I'm out of that, and I go with something else instead. That's the plan for next month, is to pre-log those calories and try to stick to my 2,200 calorie goal. The other side of this that I want to get into next month is training on the bike. I'm a little over 2 months out from the gravel race I've registered for, the Bear 100. So that means I only really have 2 months to train. So I'll be on the Trainer Road program that I'm already registered for, ideally doing 3 rides a week. I want to also institute a policy around riding where if it's over 50 degrees, I'm riding outside. If that happens to be on a weekday, it might only be like a short commute to go get food or something, or just around the neighborhood. If it's on the weekend, that's more likely to be a real gravel ride. And if it's cold still, we'll be on Zwift. But I'm gonna try to get those 3 rides in a week at least, and I'll be trying to optimize the warm days for outdoor rides. The next couple goals I plan to start working on in March are my travel goal and my bike pack trip goal. I'm not going to do those necessarily next month, but I want to at least get concrete plans for where I'm going to be going and roughly when. Ideally, this will mean booking either a hotel or a campsite for the bike packing trip. And for the international travel, I at least want to decide on a destination and decide on a month. I don't necessarily want to commit to actually scheduling that travel yet because there's so much crazy shit going on in the world right now. I also need to double check, make sure my passport is up to date, that's not going to expire anytime soon. Don't exactly know how long those last. Bike packing trip, I think I can schedule during this month, especially if it's going to be for camping. That's going to be something I want to get fairly far ahead of time. Campsites get snatched up pretty quick around here, so I want to make sure I have mine reserved. That does unfortunately mean I'm at the whims of the weather for whatever it happens to be on the day, but that's kind of just what happens with bike packing. I had originally planned for one of the concrete goals for March to be to figure out my luggage situation on the motorcycle for my motorcycle trip, but I think I pretty much have that sorted out. As far as I can tell, I really only need one decent sized tail bag, and I still want to find a tank bag, but I don't need too much more beyond that. I really just need enough to hold 1 or 2 days of clothes, a pair of shoes, my wallet, my phone, that kind of stuff. I don't really need that much space. I think I'm pretty good there. I might do a little bit more research on that. I also want to get a communicator. Even though I'll be riding alone most likely, I want a way to hear my navigation and music or podcasts or whatever. I mentioned that I have already done some work towards my 6 songs, and I plan to continue that into March. I want to get at least some progress on recording. Like I said, I have one song almost completely written now, so that one I'll probably try to get recorded in March. And then I'm working on a second song. So if I get that song ready, I'll try and record that as well. That's gonna mean setting up my guitar and vocal recording setup, getting those dialed in. I might look into getting a bass and an electric drum kit, some way to get the rest of the band taken care of. If I absolutely need to, I can pitch down a guitar in software to make kind of fake bass. I've done that before and it works actually pretty well. And for drums, I do have a MIDI controller that I can do MIDI drums, but I would like to actually be able to play them if possible. Finally, the other goal I want to get some concrete progress on in March, actually I wanted to get concrete progress on it in February and I didn't, is getting started on my app. I have a couple ideas written down. I want to play around with those. I think if I keep the scope small, I can get done with it start to finish in less than a few months. That's another goal I want to start making concrete progress on in March. All right, and that's pretty much it for the goals and for the plans for March. In February, I made a little bit of progress on a lot of goals, but unfortunately I did fail majorly on the weight loss goal. I think I need to prioritize things a little bit better for March, stick more to the weight loss and fitness. If that means I don't have as much time for the other goals, that'll just have to be how it is. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned for the next video, which will most likely be a beer brewing video. I already have that completely filmed, so I just need to edit it and release it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good March.